Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for September 12th, 2021. So I had this last week off from work, which was really nice. I did a staycation. I was mostly home and just did things around my house, or, you know, didn't do anything at all. I did go to the coast on Thursday, so I hung out with my parents, and I went and we did a lot of things there. We hit 4 bookstores and I bought books. You'll see that book haul tomorrow. We had just a lot of fun for that one day. It was really great. And I just, that's all I did. So I spent most of the rest of the time here in town and, you know, on my house, and I did a couple of things around here. Not as much as I planned. And I got a couple of things going for some home improvements that I want to do and some estimates. I started the process of getting those figured out. So I think I did. I mean, again, I could have got a lot more stuff done if I was more motivated, but I'm not. So I had a really great time. I am not looking forward to tomorrow going back to the disaster that my desk will be from everything that nobody does while I'm gone. And then the stuff that I have to go through because they did stuff that I'm like, why did you do that? Or, you know, what was the madness behind that? So anyway, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow, but it'll have to come and I'll have to go back and meet my new boss because I have not met him yet because he started this last week. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I think that's kind of it. I was really hoping to get a lot of filming done. I do have a couple of things coming up this week. As I said, I have the book haul, and then I have another try a chapter for series September, and then I have my stats video, I think, is what I got done. So I probably should have filmed more than that, but that's what will be the next week. We'll do more later, I guess. I was hoping to do a lot, and I just no motivation. Anyway, I did, like, you know, do stuff around the house, like clean this office, and I moved books around, and I started my project with my urban fantasy paranormal romance first books in series. So if you want to check out that video and let me know which books you think I should check or I should try sooner rather than later in a try a chapter, let me know. But other than that, that's kind of it. So let's get into the books. So I didn't read anywhere near as much as I thought I would read this week. I think it's just I picked some of the books that I maybe, one of the books I know for sure maybe was not the right time for it, even though I wanted to read it. It just didn't work out for me, and I think that kind of faltered me later on. So, but let's go through the books that I did finish, and then the books that I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. So, I did finish, I think on Sunday, She by H. Rider Haggard. I loved this book. I don't know how to explain. It's not perfect and it's not great, but it was just fun. I didn't expect this Victorian adventure novel to be so much fun for me. And I'm so glad that I read this after finding out about it from The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. That series has, the Athena Club, has characters from this in there. And I didn't know where they were from. And luckily, Tia and all the books did tell me that this is what it was from, and I would never have known that. So this to me was a complete new thing to me, and I really enjoyed this. It was just fun. It's not, again, not perfect. It's not the best thing you'll ever read, but it was fun for a Victorian novel written in 1887. The adventure in here is just implausible, but it was just fun, and it went in ways I never expected it to. I'm just so glad I picked this up. I do have the second book coming to me already, and I'm excited to see how that goes. He wrote this one, as I said, in 1887, published it 2 years after King Solomon's Mines. So I do want to try that series as well, because they do connect up later, much later in the Quartermain series. So I do want to kind of see if I like that series and if I want to read that one. I just really enjoyed this one, and I'm excited to continue on. He did have a big gap between this book and the second book, so I'm not sure what brought him back to it. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, but I'm really looking forward to that, clearly. I really want to read it. And if you're looking for something for Victober, or something short, adventure, and just kind of different, like I don't know anybody else who's read this. I just think it was such a good book for what it was. Like, again, not going to be it's not a perfect book, but I never knew where this was going, and it just went in such weird directions, and I was really glad to pick this up. So I'm glad I got that done. Then I finished, I think in the next day or after that was the Hex Arcade Stories by Yoon Ha Lee. This is their collection of short fiction that deals with the machineries of empire. Machineries of Empire, first book is Nine Fox Gambit, and I love that series. It's one of my favorite series. I don't like the third book quite as well, but after reading all these short stories that are little snippets of things and then a big novella at the end, I would definitely want to reread the third book now. As soon as I read it, it was not a favorite. Like, the first two books are just absolutely like top notch. I love those books. The decisions made in the third book, I just wasn't sure I agreed with. But now reading more of these little snippets of characters from that and the novella, I kind of want to reread it again and get more out of it. I don't think I got as much out of it with my one-time reading. I think I need to read it a second time, like I've read the other ones a couple times. I really love this sci-fi series. I'm not really big on short stories, as you guys know. This was really hard for me to get through sometimes because I don't connect to short snippets. It helped that a lot of the characters I knew, and they were part of a world I've already read 3 books from. So it made it easier to read these than maybe another short story collection. But I am glad I finally got to this and I finished this, because again, that finishes a series off, even though I'd finished the trilogy, but then this came out later. So I'm going to count this as a finished series. Because I read all the short story stuff to it. So again, if you've read The Machineries of Empire, I do recommend this as some little tidbits. I don't think it's the best. All the stories are the greatest. There's some that I liked a lot better than others. As I said, the last one, it's not that I liked the last one, Glass Canyon, which was the novella in here, which was I think about 100 pages. But it made some things that didn't make sense to me in the third book kind of make more sense. And I wish I had known about that novella before, because that probably could have helped when I read the series. But I didn't. Again, I think this came out after I'd finished the series, this collection. But I'm glad I got it done. It's a book on my shelf that I wanted to read, and it's in a series I love. So I'm glad I got something out of it. It's just, again, I don't know if I'll ever come back to this, so I'm not sure this is a book I'm going to keep. But I will for a while, because I might, decide to read the third book again and then want to read this novella again. So we'll see. But I did that, and that was my first. So I guess I should say I'm doing Space Opera September, put on by Thomas at SFF 180. This was my first pick for that one. And both of these count for Series September, which is being put on by Krista at Books and Gems and Sarah at Sarah's Nightstand. So I have made some progress in some of these. Anyway, I'm working on it. So those are both those. And then the last book that I finished this week was Gunmetal Magic by Ilona Andrews. So this is book 5.5 in the series. So it's not technically in the Kate Daniels series. It's a book in between that, but it's in the world of Kate Daniels. So we're following characters. And Kate Daniels pops up in here, but it's mostly about Andrea, her best friend, and her story. And I really enjoyed this. Again, I'm doing this as the series as a buddy read with Tia and all the books. So we read this one this week, and we're hoping to pick up another one in a couple weeks. So this was, as I said, I really enjoyed this one because things had happened in a couple books prior that had set up some of this that was going on. And then of course there's the mystery that she's trying to solve of somebody who had killed some pack members. And so it's her coming to terms with who she is and how her relationship to people around her. And I really enjoyed this. It was just a fun ride, and we got to see her journey. And I think that was the best part about this, is it was her personal journey, and it was her coming to realizations about herself and about her place in the world and in this crazy world. Because again, this is the same world as Kate Daniels. So it's the Atlanta that has in a world It's an alternative Atlanta where there is magic that flows, it comes and goes, and then technology only works when the magic is down. When the magic's up, no technology works at all. There's been a lot of devastation. There's a lot of new creatures that have popped up that came back with the magic, and again, that's kind of involved in all this. So I really enjoyed this because there's a lot of new things that we learned about the world, and again, about her, and that was the best part, of course. So I really enjoyed this book, and I'm glad we got through another one, and I'm looking forward to the next one because I'm really enjoying that series as I get deeper and deeper into it. Okay, so that's what I completed, which doesn't seem like a whole lot for a week off from vacation, but that's kind of how that is. As I said, my reading's been up and down. And I think it's just, I'm not structured, so I watch way more BookTube and stuff than I probably should. And I've been, I have done a few things where I was gone, not too much, but still, I don't know why I didn't read I always think I'm going to get, tons of books done. I don't know how those people get a book done a day kind of thing. I don't focus that well. Anyway, so I have made progress. So these are the books that now I'm in the middle of. The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. Again, she is a friend of mine, but I have put off this book for a year. I just found out that it was a year ago that the hardback came out that I Anyway, so I'm behind again. It just sometimes takes me to get into my friend's writing. For some reason, I have to, not her writing, I meant any friend. Anybody I personally know, to read their books, and have to get myself geared up for it. So anyway, so I have made pretty good progress. I am about 40% in now. I listened to this by audio. It's a cast audio. So I listened to it on the way to my parents' house, and then when I drove home that night. So so I had a couple hours both ways. So I'm really enjoying this. This is a fantasy trilogy where we're following a group an empire of islands, and this is the Drowning Empire series. I believe that's Drowning Empire. So we're following Lynn, who is the emperor's daughter, but she has an illness several years before, and she has lost all her memories from before. So he does not want to make her his heir because she does not remember her childhood, and that really upsets him. But he also, he holds over the bone shard magic, learning things for her to learn things because, he wants her to remember, but she hasn't been able to remember. She has a foster brother who is taken in at the time that the illness came, and he recovered better, and he is actually working towards being the heir. So they're kind of rivals. So we get their, what's going on in the emperor's, palace or whatever, and how things are going there. So we follow Lynn, and then we follow, is his name? I keep thinking I'm saying it wrong. Is it Jovis? Yeah, Jovis. So we follow Jovis, who is a smuggler who is looking for his missing wife. She's been missing for several years now, and he got a clue a few years before, and he broke ties with the kind of the mafia kind of side of things in this world, and he's on the run from them. The emperor has a price out on his head, and he's got a good heart. Anyway, poor guy keeps getting pulled into things. So we follow him as well, and the character, Mephi. If you guys have read this, Mephi is the best, and now I understand. Anyway, so it's just it's a creature companion that's just awesome. Anyway, and there's a couple other perspectives, but those are the two main ones. And so we're following them. And as I said, I'm only 40% of the way through. I don't know where this is going yet. Yes, I have already pre-ordered book 2 from a local bookstore. So I'll get the hardback. But I really am enjoying the audiobook. I think that was the best way for me to go because I was struggling to just get myself to read it. And I think, again, it's not anything to do with her personally. It really is just my, dealing with having my friends on their books. And I've done that with their ebooks and stuff too, where it takes me a while to get into it. So, because some of my friends are self-published. So anyway, really enjoying this. I want to see where it goes. I have no idea. It's still too early. There's too much interesting things going on. The bone shard, the magic itself is a very interesting concept. Getting to know what that is. And then again, I said Effie is probably my favorite part of this book so far. And I would totally recommend this for just him. But again, I haven't finished it yet. So I said, I'm hoping in this next week, because again, I'll be at work and I'll be focusing so much on work. I'm not sure how much audiobook time I will have, but I'm hoping to read that more, because while I was off, only that Thursday did I listen to this, because I'm in the car, but not in the car long enough to do anything. So I'm hoping though at work I'll be able to make some progress on that. So let's talk about the book that kind of derailed my reading, and that is Desolation Called Peace by Arkady Martine. So I have this from the library, so it's due back this next week. So I got to make some decisions here. I'm exactly halfway through it right now, and I don't know. So this is the second book in the I'm not gonna be able to say this word. Oh, it's the Texcanlandian, something like that, series. A Memory Called Empire I read earlier this year and really enjoyed that. That was a really fun ride, and but I also had trouble with it sometimes where it would kind of slow me down, and it did take me a while to read it. So this one though is really a slow read for me. And it's not that it's overly complicated. It really is just, it bogs down on me sometimes. So I'm not sure exactly what my problem is with it, except that every time I go to read it, it takes me 3 times as long to read a chapter as it would in something else. And maybe sometimes that bothers me, because I'm not the fastest reader. I do dedicate a lot of time to reading in order to do that. It's just, sometimes some books just don't fly, and this is not one of those books. So we are following Mahit, who in the first book, she is the new ambassador from a small colony out in space, and she goes to the capital, and she's trying to figure out why they asked for a new ambassador when they've had one who's been there like 15 or 20 years. And she gets there and finds out that he has been killed, and then it's the mystery around what happened to that ambassador. And then it also has a lot of cool technology of imagos, things that allow her to have kind of an impression of a person's memories from before. And it doesn't make any sense. Sorry. It really explains better in the book. Anyway, it was a really good, and it got a lot more action packed than I expected. I was surprised by where it ended. And then I was kind of surprised we got a second book. So I was surprised that this was a duology. And I don't know if this is really necessary. The first book is so good, and this one I'm just struggling with. And again, it could be because part of it there's some personal tensions between 2 of the characters that I really like, but they're just, I don't know, it's just kind of angsty for me. And I guess I really think that's the part I'm having trouble with. The parts where the action is, where there's an alien force that's, is affecting the whole country, or the empire, and the people, the perspectives we get, most of them I really enjoy them, but the 2 that are kind of, as I said, it's just kind of, it drives me crazy, because again, it's the whole angsty, it's not the will they won't they kind of thing, but it's more like, can they communicate to get through what they need to get through? I don't know. So I have decided, since this is due back Thursday, so I need to either finish the last 250 pages, or I have to give it up and then maybe get the ebook, which will take weeks because there's a list for it. So I think what I'm going to do is today I'm going to try to do a chunk of this today and see if I can get through a good chunk of it and see if I can get back into it. I put this down for 3 days. It's been 3 or 4 days. It must be 4 days now. Today is the 4th day, I guess. So if I pick it up today, I'm going to try to get back into it. I don't know. Have you guys read this series? Is it worth it by the end? I don't know. I'm halfway through. I'm just like, meh. I really liked the first book. The first book was fantastic. A Memory Called Empire I would totally recommend. This one, I'm like, I don't know. So, but I like to finish it, to finish the duology. for both series September as well as for my own series stuff to finish. So we will see. Anyway, so I'm going to give that another go today. But let me know if you guys have read that one and what you think. And then my other thing that I've picked up is Dune by Frank Herbert. So I have read this book several times. This is my lovely movie copy from the 80s that I found when I was a teenager, because I had a thing for Kyle MacLachlan. Anyway, the point is that, and David Lynch was fantastic after the whole Twin Peaks thing. To me, I pretty much opened me to everything he'd ever done. Anyway, point is, I bought this book, used back then, and then I must have had this. I have notes in here. I've actually annotated this a little bit from college when I had to write a paper on it, because this is probably my 6th or 7th time. There's a couple, I'm not quite sure how many times I've read this, because I read it for sure once in high school. I read it once for sure in college. But I have a feeling that I might have reread it one time in there, another time. And then I know I've read it at least 3 times in my adulthood. I don't know. It might be more than that. But I'm pretty sure this is number 7. But I'm not positive. I had to really think about that. And I started counting, and I still think it's like 6 or 7 at the least. I think it's more, but... Anyway, so of course I'm reading this because everybody's reading it right now and talking about it. It is Space Opera September, so yeah. Anyway, so of course I'm looking forward to the movie because I've liked all the adaptations for different reasons. None of them have been perfect to me. I'm kind of interested to see how pretty this one looks because I want to see what happens. So, as I said, this is a reread for me. And talking about A Desolation Called Peace, how it's hard for me to get to read it, like to just make progress. This is so easy. I always forget how much I love reading this. And I started reading this Friday night, and I just was like right away, right back in it. And I've been so long since I read it. I have a feeling I read it 5 years ago, but I'm not positive. So I have to go back and look at my notes. If not, it's been about 7 or 8 years. So it's definitely, I'm due for a reread because it's been a while. But I really, really, it is one of my favorite science fiction novels. The series has ups and downs for me. I've read all the Frank Herbert books. I have completed the series that way. And again, I've never reread past God Emperor. The last 2 books I've only read once. So maybe someday I will do the whole series again. But really right now all I want to do is read Dune. I'm not planning to reread the series, the rest of the series. Right now I just want to reread this one. So I'm picking this up late at night because again, I've read this before. It's nothing new, but it just makes me so happy when I do pick it up. So if Desolation Called Peace fails, then I might be reading this for the rest of the day. I don't know. We'll see. Is that my copy looks really small, like it's under 500 pages for the novel, when everybody else's books are like chunky, but it is really small print. So I really should probably, I kind of want to buy another copy because this one's so old and it's starting to really fall apart, but I have all my notes in it. I mean, there's not a lot of notes, but I've underlined and made notes. It's just funny. When I read it, I laugh. I go, I did this in college. It's so funny. And it did take me a while to go, are these my notes or did I buy a copy with stuff in it? So anyway, I don't think I need to explain what Dune is. I'm not going to. So point is, it's just I am really excited to reread this. So I'll probably be doing that as here and there. Well, I forgot. My bookmark is from one of my book clubs from many years ago from the library when I lived in Sacramento. And we read Dune in June one year. I don't know what year it is. It doesn't say, but... that's one of the rereads. Anyway, so I am going to read that. And then this is the other book that I'm reading, and so this is again as another series. You notice there's a lot of series here. I'm really trying. Sword of Destiny by, Andrzej Sapkowski. Again, this is, translated from the Polish by David French. So this is the second book of short stories that in the Witcher series. So I read the first one, I think 3-4 years ago, The Last Wish. So I read it at least 3 years ago, if not 4. So I read that, and then I planned to pick up this one. I had marked it for all the stories, although I missed 2 of them. Anyway, there's 6 stories and I marked 4 of them. I don't know what. Anyway, so that I would read these short stories and then I can move on to the novels, because I kind of want to see how different that is from the short stories. But I just never picked this up. Again, I don't like short stories or novellas all the time. Like, I have to be in the right mood for it. But after reading the Hex Arcade Stories, I thought, you know, this is the time to pick up this and try to get it done while it's series September. I'm trying to get through series. This makes another notch in that to get closer to the novels. So I thought if I read a story a day, which was, there's 6 stories, then I'd be done with it within a week. So I've read 2 of them so far and really enjoyed them, actually. I'd forgotten how these were written because, again, it's been so long. They are not my favorite kind of narrative. There's a lot of talking. These people talk a lot, and sarcasm. I mean, it's funny. The Witcher himself. It's just, and then again, the first 2 ones have Yennefer in it, so it's kind of like up and down on how I feel about her. She's a very complex character. It's very interesting. I'd forgotten it from the first book of short stories. It's just been it's been so long, I don't remember anything. So I pretty much went into this almost blind because I don't remember anything except for a couple of characters. So, and of course, Dandelion, the bard, was in the first story. That made me laugh. I liked the first story. I really liked. The second one, not so much. I didn't really like the second one. Bounds of Reason was good. So anyway, so I'm going to continue. I'm going to read, you know, they're about 50 to 60 pages for each one. So I figure if I read 1 a day, then I'll get through this this week, and then I will have 1 more done for the Witcher series, and I could actually maybe get to one of the novels the next year or so, because I really want to try one just to see if I even like them. I don't know, because I've heard some people just like these, and then some people really like the novels, and some people don't like, you know, the other way around. So I had the first novel. I think I have this. No, my brother had the first novel, so I have it borrowed from him. Had it for years. So I need to read that and then give it back to him. And then I think I own the second one, which he borrowed from me at one point. So I think I got it back. So anyway, so I do want to continue with this series because I am enjoying it. It's not fantasy that I would normally go for because of the short story format, but I am enjoying that, and I hope to get that done, as I said, this week. So the only other book that I'm gonna mention that I'm gonna read this next week is because it's a buddy read for the Falling Into Reading Challenge put on by Tia and all the books, Angie at Literary Labors, Rainey Day Reads, and Cozy Reader Kelly. And this week we are reading A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. So this is a series I have never read. Like, I heard about it a lot, even as a kid. I don't know why I never picked it up. I have no idea. I don't know why why I didn't pick it up when I liked fantasy back then. But so I don't know anything really about this except that it's a wizard in Earthsea, and I think there's I don't know if they said it was a school setting or not. Wouldn't that'd be interesting. Anyway, I can't remember. So it's short. We're reading 2 chapters a day, Monday through Friday. So as I said, my goal is to read my 2 chapters in this, a story in The Witcher, and then you know, whatever else I feel like after that. So it's going to be kind of one of those reading weeks where I'm, again, doing the buddy read with them on Instagram. So I think you can go to one of their videos and or to their Instagrams and ask to be put into that group. But anyway, so I have it on ebook. It came on sale just a couple weeks ago for $1.99, so I picked it up. I figured it was better than, because I don't know if I'm going to like the series or not. So we will see. And again, I don't even know if this is middle grade or young adults. I don't remember. I'll have to ask that question because I don't actually know. But anyway, so it should be a fantasy, little short one. So I'm hoping to get to that. And then I think that is it. I mean, I have so many books that I've bought in the last week, so it's not like I don't have anything to read. And then I have my whole sci-fi or space opera September TBR just staring at me. I have at least 20 books that I want to read and I can't read them all. So we will see. I mean, I think this week, again, I don't know how much reading I'll get done because work is going to be super stressful coming back from vacation. It always is. And I have to do all that. So anyway, that is it. What was your reading like this last week? Do you guys do that where you're on vacation, you think you're going to read all these books and you just don't? Darn it. I'm always bad about that. Anyway, so I think that's it. Yeah. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope your next week is going to be better than mine's going to be. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.